broadcast early. You know, Herb, because it's Friday and we need it, and it's good to see you. And I
Thank you.
should have wore the Battle of the Exes shirt. I would have showed that off, but it's in the laundry basket. And now that I'm a newly bachelor, I did my laundry and I threw it all in the basket, didn't put it away, so it's all wrinkled. Getting back to my single ways, but yes,
That's all right. And you could probably, in the non-summer months, you could wear it more than once, but now forget about it. So,
yeah. No, I'm ready for it. But no, since it is Cinco de Mayo, I decided to wear this shirt, which I got. I showed it to Valdez, and he's like, "Where'd you find that?"
Nice.
Yeah. And I found it at Kohl's, actually. And when I went down to Mexico with it, this was my Mexico shirt. And the bouncers at the bars there were like, "Hey, this guy, this guy." They were fans.
A little cred. That's awesome.
Yes, it was. Yo, Rick, good to see you on the stream. Again, I didn't even give a heads up. I'll let people know that we're on the stream here in a little bit. And as we cover a lot of stuff, of course, Guardians of the Galaxy and all the other different releases, and then also give away Incubus tickets this hour as well. So that's where we're at.
Awesome.
Did you see Last Challenge?
No, I waited because my wife's out of town and I'll get in trouble if I watch it without her. So, so I had to wait.
I have all the spoilers. Well, okay, I'll tell you what. I'm not going to say anything, but you'll see in my eyes, okay?
Okay.
Who were you hoping would win this season?
I don't know if I got that far yet. I'm assuming that means somebody got eliminated that you were thinking was going to win.
Well, a team that I was rooting for. So, and I don't know if you were rooting for this team as well. Who've been some of your highlights this season of teams that you've been enjoying watching?
Well, it's always interesting to me to see where Jordan goes, just because I think he is in the top 3 of like smartest players, but also I think he's one of these guys that you just can't underestimate that guy. I mean,
Right.
he's got 1.5 hands and he beats everybody consistently. It's just like it makes everybody else just look like idiots. So I don't know. I'm liking Jordan. I'm sort of over Tory, but I mean, I know they're sort of linked forever. So that's sort of the big dilemma for me is, I want less Tory and more Jordan.
I think, well, that's what the internet's saying too. So they're just saying, Tori, take a break.
Yeah.
She kind of Cara Maria'd herself by being in it so long.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah,
and of course, I know you're either Team West or Team Bananas, and I'm Team Bananas. I know you're Team West.
Yeah, I love me some West, but he's gone. Bananas gone too, but I like Bananas too. So, well, yeah. All right. Well, none of the teams that you mentioned, well, besides Bananas and West, who were already gone, got eliminated last episode. But yeah, it wasn't necessarily like a standout episode. Getting close to the finals, though.
We are, and now it gets crazy. Yeah. So, all right.
And I was listening to Drew, watching Drew do his thing, and they're talking about, of course, the Challenge USA 2 and then All Stars. And he's wondering when the releases are going to be because, he does reaction videos and he is basically not even being secret about it. Just like, when are they going to do a break? Like, can I take 2 weeks off? You're fucking killing me. Because as soon as one ends, another one drops the very next week. And so, for somebody who's like, I'm going to do this as a living, all I have to do is just, post reactionary videos when they make new episodes. What do you tell me? Every single day for the rest of my life? What the
exactly.
So,
no, it's not like a network show where they're going to have like 12 episodes and you're off for 9 months.
Right.
So,
exactly. So it's one of those be careful what you wish for type deals. But at the same time, I'm not doing reaction videos. So I'm like, bring it on.
Yeah.
Rock on 2.1 KFMA. We're live on the podcast broadcast. That's right. We started early, and that laugh you're hearing is the one and only Herb Stratford. Good morning, Herb.
Good morning.
What are the movies that we're going to be talking about this hour?
So really, we're talking about one big movie and some streaming stuff. We're talking about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is the big one this weekend. Nobody wants to go up against that movie.
Yeah.
So that's the one in theaters. And then we've got Fatal Attraction, White House Plumbers, and Silo are 3 things that are streaming.
All right. So we're going to be breaking that down. Plus, I'm going to be talking about some of the stuff that Herb missed dropping on Netflix recently because there's been some gems, man.
We don't have enough time to go into everything.
That's very true. But on the podcast broadcast, we do. So you could join us, youtube.com/BeefVegan or on BeefVegan's, which is my Facebook page. Even on Twitch. Either way, or keep it right here because we're also giving away tickets for Incubus this hour. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA. Here's System of a Down with Toxicity. Clear. All right.
Send me an invite, man.
Oh, yeah. Did I not send you that invite? All right. Here, I'll send you an invite. I'll send Todd an invite. It's Friday. Who else wants an invite? Sending in my invites all the way around. I need compliments.
You get an invite.
Shirt.
You get an invite.
Exactly. Everyone can be a part of this. I'll tell you what. Like I started off the day. It's like whatever, right? It's the end of the week. Still trying to find something for my daughter and I to move into, and feeling a little stressed. And then I'm just like, okay, I'm on my way into work, and then Weirdo gives me a call and says she has a stomach virus. So I'm like, all right, so I'm gonna do the show by myself, which normally I'm like, that's fine. You know, I could do shows by myself and have a good time, but I'm just kind of feeling in the funk. And then I go open up my emails, and the first fucking comment I see is on a YouTube video and from yesterday. And I'm like, oh, cool. I got a comment on a YouTube video. Let's see what this is. This will perk me up. And then the comment is, wow, this is a really bad show.
Like, who takes the time to do that, though? You know what I mean? Like, it's just sort of rude, if you ask me.
It's a random YouTuber, Alistair Clarkson, and it was at 4:22 in the morning. So, you know,
oh yeah, no,
yeah,
that's not appropriate.
Fernando, I'm just sending out invites for people to jump on the stream. But yeah, and so then I'm just like, I took the wind out of my sail. Then almost immediately after I started getting text messages from my ex, and I'm just like, beat me down, man. But I've been having Valdez pop in. He's been fun. And we got a pop in from Todd Marley. That's always a good time. Good morning, Todd.
Morning.
How you doing?
You know, I saw Taylor Tomlinson last night, and that was an excellent show. And if you want to meet a bunch of women, there's probably still like 3 tickets available.
Taylor Tomlinson? Who? Who's that?
Taylor Tomlinson, comedian. She's got like 2 Netflix specials.
Yeah, no, she's not on my radar. So where did you see her at?
The Centennial, whatever's on ASU campus.
Oh, so you went up to Tempe?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's gonna be obviously.
Oh no, U of A. I don't know my universities, man. I'm not a native, and I admit it. That's fine, and I'm okay with that.
Well, if there's one thing you're gonna get, you got to get right.
I should.
Yeah,
I admit that.
But that's how you get canceled.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm okay with being canceled over that.
The first and only thing they told me when I started doing radio down here was don't talk about Phoenix. People in Tucson hate people talking about Phoenix. I'm
Pretty much.
Yeah, good to know. I was like, that sucks because all my stories are from there. I just came there, so everything is kind of referenced to that. But now, of course, 6.5 years deep. Okay, so she just dropped a Netflix special as well. Mm-hmm. Is she like a dirty comedian? She funny?
She like Nikki Glazer?
Yeah, Nikki Glazer. That's what I want to know. Yeah, that's
Nikki. And Nikki's she's playing the Rialto, I think. Yeah, she's hysterical. Her last Netflix show was just unbelievable. I was dying. She is so funny. She's so rude.
Yes. And Nikki Glazer is fantastic. And I don't know if the show at the Rialto is sold out for her things. I'll have to look it up here as we're doing the podcast broadcast. Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents, hanging out here with Herb Stratford, who is our movie critic extraordinaire. And he's in early today because you got it's a junket that you have to be a part of.
No, so I program 4 different film festivals, and one of them is in Mendocino, and so we're doing some radio interviews for Mendocino because Mendocino's June 1st to the 4th, so it's like a month away.
Oh wow, yeah. So busy man. Well, and on top of all that work you have to do, you have to go watch Guardians of the Galaxy 3, right?
I do.
Now, of course, today is Revenge of the 5th. Yesterday was May the 4th, all Star Wars related, but the big release has nothing to do with Star Wars. But I've said many times that this is my Star Wars universe.
Yes, you have.
I really enjoy the Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, I seen initially when they were dropping sneak previews and trailers, the initial reviews were through the roof, but now I'm seeing that it's actually not a high-rated Marvel film on Rotten Tomatoes. What's been some of the mixed reviews that we've been getting on this?
So, I think that's a good point. A lot of times the early stuff is fanboy stuff, right? You know what I mean? It's the people that you already know who are going to love your stuff. So there's no question that you've got that fan base. When I looked at the Rotten Tomatoes yesterday, it was at 80. I haven't looked at it this morning. So I don't know. I think it's I think there's certainly a nostalgia factor, like you just said, some of these people, this is their, some generation this is their Star Wars and this is important to them. So they're going to go no matter what.
Right. It's going to make money. That's not the issue, but will it hold up? Will you want to rewatch it?
That's a good point. And I can't say because I haven't gone, but I mean, I'll tell you, the first one I can watch over and over and over again, and the second one I'm like,
yeah,
you know, I mean, I felt it got a little bit off track, and so I'm hoping. And then the Christmas special, right? The Guardians Christmas special, that was okay. I mean, it was a little goofy. It's weird when you see them on Earth.
yes,
right? That's a little weird. I sort of want them to be out there.
Right, out in the space.
Yeah.
And, this one is actually based on Earth, but with a twist. It's Earth in like a different dimension with different Earthlings, and they interact there. So we're familiar with the backdrop, but not the neighbors that are surrounding them. And
I love Rocket. I mean, I love getting more of Rocket's backstory. I mean that, I don't need to see a backstory on Groot because it would just be I am Groot.
Yeah. I started off as a seed, I turned into a tree. Done.
Done.
Done and done.
Yeah. So, so I'm excited about that. And I'm a little sad because the other thing that I've been reading is, a lot of these folks are done, right? Zoe Saldana's like, I'm done. I'm never doing Gamora again. And honestly, he's like, Peter Quill, he's like, I'll do another movie.
Yeah.
And it's Chris, like, wait a minute, Chris, what are you talking about, dude?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, it'd have to be perfect. And, and James is not going to direct it. It's like, no, then it wouldn't be perfect.
Right.
Nobody can do that but them.
But he was in that, Avengers, and he's also looking at the Jurassic Park franchise. Be like, that's trying up. There's a couple other projects that I did that nobody cares about. Yeah, no, I'll continue to milk this cow till it's dry.
Yeah, he's gonna go back to Parks and Rec, right?
yeah, exactly. For sure, because but I've been seeing all that too. Yeah, the majority of the cast Guardians of the Galaxy are done. The backstory of this has been great too because of the girl who plays Mantis.
Yeah.
What's her name? Do you remember?
Pom Klementov.
Yeah.
Like that.
So I love her. Again, I got this weird mantis fetish, but
the antenna.
yes. When initially when James Gunn got canceled, if you remember this, right? There was a time where it looked like the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was going to get scrapped, or at least have a whole different script, whole different director, and because of previous tweets that James Gunn did over 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So kind of the cancel mob came for him. Marvel and Disney did a knee-jerk reaction, and they fired him. And Pom actually read the script with one of her co-stars, Darren, and they were so nervous about the script or being discovered that they had the script that Pom actually buried that script in Darren's garden.
Yeah.
But she said that she cried all the way through it. They both cried together.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, they all signed a letter and a petition together stating that they won't do Guardians of the Galaxy without James Gunn as a unit.
Yeah, because Batista is on that signature, right? I mean, everybody, all the core cast. Yeah. Which really, I think, sends a message to Disney that, we can't just be cavalier about this.
Right. But that was an F up that we'll probably see in 10 to 20 years how major of an F up that is, because that was the opportunity for James Gunn to do Suicide Squad and work with Warner Brothers and DC. And now he's going to be heading up that entire division. And if DC becomes the front runner in comic book movies and better than Marvel, it'll all be because of that decision off of those tweets 3 years ago.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah.
It's interesting to see as it develops. All right, we're going to continue the conversation moving on podcast broadcast, youtube.com/beefvegan. Also giving away tickets for Incubus this hour. So keep that in mind while you keep it right here. It's Rock 1 2.1. All right. And then I'll do just play Incubus for the tickets or whatever. So if you're trying to get those Incubus tickets, then I'll let you know when I'm playing them, and I'll play musical chairs. Yeah, sorry I caught you off guard with that that early start, Anthony. I don't know if Powers is coming in 9 o'clock hour. I've heard from him. He initially was planned on that, and so I said, "Fuck it." Well, Herb and I with the Todd will do the podcast from 8 to possibly 9, and then I might stop it because I'll be honest with you, I'm just kind of like,
it's Friday, man. You deserve to knock off early.
I appreciate that. I mean, I'm not going to take off. Maybe I will. I still have to get ready for the Tappy Hour podcast later today, right? And we're going to be at Catalina Brewing. So if you're up on the north side, you should join us. It should be pretty good for Cinco de Mayo. So I'm going to catch a little buzz, tasting all the delicious beers and talking about it. And I hope to see you guys out there.
And representing with your shirt, man.
And representing with this shirt, because I got this shirt. And honestly, I'm a single man wearing this shirt. Times are going to be good, right? I'm going to have to have Valdez as my bodyguard. Back up, lady.
Now that I'd like to see.
Actually, whenever I'm out with Valdez, and you'll see Valdez pop in here. Whenever I'm out with Valdez, I kind of I I have him be my makeshift bodyguard. It's great. I had him. I introduced the Dirty Heads at the People County Fair, and I had him on stage with me just to stand there as like a
menacing presence.
Yeah, like my Mexican Suge Knight, just standing there like, don't bum rush the stage, anybody. It's good.
Awesome. He's got the look for that too, man. He's definitely got a don't mess with me look. So,
but he's also like a teddy bear.
Oh,
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, he's super sweet. I mean, no, he's a hard case. I mean,
yeah, no. Yeah, if you're trying to get within my personal space, then he's the hardest motherfucker you ever met.
That's right, man.
It's so fun to see that. What were some of the things that dropped that I was like, oh, you didn't talk about this, that, or the other thing? Well, the John Mulaney comedy special I watched, and
how was it?
It was amazing.
It was okay. Yeah, I watched that one too, and I don't disagree. I don't think it was Mulaney's best.
Okay.
Well, no, it wasn't Mulaney's best. It was Mulaney talking about him hitting rock bottom as a full-blown drug addict. It was very revealing.
See, and I thought he already sort of told that story. That's why I was surprised when I read about it, that it was like he's being really raw and powerful. And it's like, oh, I thought we already knew maybe we just knew he was a drug addict. We hadn't seen him talk about it on stage.
I knew he was a cocaine addict.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was a drugs addict.
Okay.
Yeah, and he talked about all the different drugs that were in his system, all the different drugs he was doing on a regular basis. And it was an insane amount. A lot of pills, prescriptions, and then everything else. I think the only thing he didn't do was weed. I'm like, how the fuck are you not going to do weed
when you're easiest and legalist of everything?
Yeah, man. And safest and everything else. And then there was something else that I kind of talked about in the podcast is like kind of a conspiracy theory of sorts was, it was really revealing. He was telling a story about how he was detoxing and he had Pete Davidson's phone number stored in his phone as Al Pacino. And the nurse who was overlooking and watching him while he's sleeping, because he was threatening to leave and whatnot. So he was under supervision, kept seeing Al Pacino pop up on the phone. And actually she woke him up so he could talk to Al Pacino, because then she started fanboying, right? Yeah, which is funny.
That is funny.
But then one of the first things that Pete does is, because he couldn't be at the intervention and he's calling to check on his boy, he's like, people are gonna think it's my fault, right? And so when somebody says that, there's got to be a little bit of guilt associated with it, right? It's like, well, is it your fault, Pete Davidson? Have you? I mean, they are friends. And he tried to say like, oh, no, Pete Davidson's like my sober buddy. He supports me being sober, blah, 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 blah. And Pete Davidson, of course, parties as well. Were they going off the deep end together like that?
Well, you got to wonder. And then, Pete's got that new show, Bupkis, that's dropping.
Yes.
Right. Which I'm super excited to see, because talk about a killer cast.
Yeah. Joe Pesci and Edie Falco. And
Pesci, I thought when whatever the last
The Irishman
came out, they were like, oh, we coaxed him back. He's retired. He's not acting anymore. He hasn't acted in 15 years. And now he's all over the place. It's like, welcome back.
Well, you know what it was? He re-retired after, and Pete Davidson was just telling this to Jimmy Fallon. He said he re-retired after Irishman, and then Lorne Michaels was like, maybe we'll get Pesci, and then called up Pesci and convinced him to do it. So that's the swing of Lorne Michaels.
Well, and I just rewatched Casino because I was on a plane and I had 3 hours.
So live.
And I was like, oh my God, this movie is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I watched it 2 nights ago.
Oh my God.
And I've watched it probably a million times.
Yeah. And I mean, all of De Niro's outfits, it's just costuming is just absolutely amazing. And I think, honestly, I don't know that she's ever looked that good.
No, Sharon Stone was peak. Well, no, Basic Instinct. She looked a little
but you know
better.
what I mean? It's peak. You totally get it. And honestly, and she had to fight for that role. She kills it. I mean, she got an Academy Award nomination because she deserved it. That was the best she's ever acted, I think.
Yeah. She plays crazy well.
And honestly, Pesci, it's just terrifying. I mean, and I still can't get over how gory. I mean, the head in the vice. I mean, there's some really dramatic stuff in that movie.
Eye popping out. Yeah.
I mean, it's just, it was a masterpiece. It really was.
It was. And it was very actually accurate when it came to casino culture and how they protect the games, watch the games, play the games, as
that whole thing where they talk about the boss watching the dealers and that was fascinating. And then also I love the postscript where they're just like, they're showing the fountains at Bellagio and they're just like, the whole thing went to shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, it was one thing and it is now just like Times Square. It is now 180 of what it was. and it sort of makes you a little sad. You're like, even though it was the mob, it was sort of cool.
Yeah, it was the real Sin City.
Yeah.
I mean, you can still commit sin. So,
sure you can.
Yeah.
But it's different. I mean, I remember going when I was younger, and you get in a cab, and the cab drivers would hand you like like a brochure from a whorehouse. They're like, you know what? This is why you're here. Right. Yeah. And now it's like, the Disney show starts, the parade starts, or whatever. And you're like, oh,
I was here for the whores.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was asking for a friend.
Yeah.
Good times.
Yeah, no, I do love it. It's a nice long film from Scorsese, and one of his best for sure. And
his new film, of course, Killers of the Flower Moon, is going to be debuting at Cannes in June, and then it's going to be on Apple TV, I think, in November.
And then DiCaprio's in that.
He is, as is De Niro, and it's a true story about when the FBI was formed, actually, because there was a whole bunch of murders going on the Osage Nation in Oklahoma, because oil had been discovered there, and basically that was a place where the United States government had sort of shuffled off a lot of native tribes to this area until they were like, oh wait, there's something good here.
Yeah.
So all these murders happened, and the FBI was formed to sort of combat that. And so it'll be interesting to see how this whole thing unfolds, because it's apparently a really great book. I haven't read it, but it's got a great cast. And originally Leonardo was tapped to play one of the main roles, and then he decided, you know what? I don't like this role. I want to be the bad guy. Interesting. Yeah. So Jesse Plemons and him switched roles.
Oh, wow.
Which is very interesting. And then of course, there's some people already saying, oh, wait a minute, this is a native story. Why are there so many,
white guys?
But there were white guys doing this stuff. So it'll be very interesting to see. Scorsese spent a lot of time talking to the tribe, figuring out what the right deal was. Total native cast where appropriate, right?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
We're not miscasting. So I'm interested to see this. I mean, everybody that's been talking about it, that's seen any little bits and snips, has said it's just an amazing immersive thing. Another $200 million movie from him, right?
Yeah.
So he's committed. But let's be honest, Scorsese is in his late 70s. I mean, he doesn't have a lot left.
Yeah, I was like, is this his last one? And
Maybe.
that reminded me with Robert De Niro being in this film, and I'm wondering what age Robert De Niro is going to be in this film. When I was watching Casino, there was a takeaway where he was talking with Sharon Stone's character about proposing to her and getting married.
Yeah.
He's like, we're not getting any younger. I'm 43. And I'm just like, I'm 43. What the fuck? This is what you're supposed to look like when you're 43? You look like a grandpa back then, but
it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah, the other day I read something about the Golden Girls when that show was on.
Yes.
They're all in their 50s, and I'm like, wait, what? I thought they were in their 70s.
Nope, I know.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy.
that's golden. And they're retired and, living a sweet life.
Yeah.
And no wonder Blanche still wanted to fuck. That's still pretty young, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to keep doing it, right? You still have desire, right?
Yeah.
All right, just checking. I'm just seeing how many years I got left on the old desire meter.
Do the math.
Yeah. I was telling Valdez, and it reminds me of a Daniel Tosh joke, because, when you're in a relationship, you're not as horny, right? You can go a few days, week, 2.
Yeah.
You're like, having sex and, having an orgasm. That's fine. Whatever. I got shit to do, right? I got to make dinner.
Yeah.
Got to go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
But when you're single, you get amazingly horny. So this is the Daniel Tosh joke that I relate to. He's like, when I'm in a relationship, I can go weeks without having sex, not even notice it. When I'm single, I got to masturbate 3 times before I even leave the house. It's a danger to everybody else. And I'm like, well.
Yeah, it's just like in Something About Mary, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a loaded weapon, man. You got to discharge that.
Seriously, like I went to bed the other night and did my shower duties and stuff, and I'm sleeping. I woke up. I'm like, I got to do it again. I'm like, who the fuck am I? What is going on here? We all cope in different ways.
That's right.
All right, and so maybe I won't even have to do that by myself tonight with this Corona shirt. That's all I'm saying.
I'm thinking that's you're bringing all the tools to bear here.
Todd, this is in your neighborhood. You coming out tonight?
Maybe. I have to go to a doctor tonight because I've lost feeling on my left hand. So.
Oh, well, that's not good.
That's not.
Yeah,
good.
no, it's not great. Not great. No.
Carpal tunnel or the same? I just had the other
with
night.
my shoulders. It's all
okay.
like it's shooting down the arm and stuff. So I got a physical therapy thing. So we'll see if I'm feeling up to it.
It will make that better. Beer. Yeah, it always makes it better.
And,
you don't feel
and
it.
if you can't lift it, we'll get a long straw, and you
Mhm.
can just set it on the table, and then you can imbibe.
Yeah, beer out of straw. You'd be the manliest man there.
I didn't say a sippy straw.
It'd be cool.
Doesn't matter the
Yeah.
straw when you're. It doesn't matter the straw. The straw's not.
It's not cool no matter what. Okay.
I was watching the new Beavis and Butthead yesterday.
I need to go to that.
Yeah, which holds up. It's so good. And they're watching a video of this guy. It was an obese black guy who did a YouTube video of combining all the Mountain Dews they have into one giant glass and chugging it. So his video is just to chug this stuff. And I'm thinking, you're getting if you don't have diabetes already, like you're getting diabetes from
right
this.
there.
And there's like 9 different Mountain Dews, which I didn't know. There was one exclusively in Japan. And then so he mixed it all together. It ends up looking like red wine, and he chugs a gallon of this. And Beavis and Bud, of course, watch, and it's funny, but I'm just like, that guy probably died immediately after. And he was jacked up too. He's just like, woo, all right, thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. You're like, damn, son, all the Mountain Dews.
Wow.
Had to get out of that video. Had to get out of the shot real fast after that.
Oh man, I could probably pull it up on YouTube. In fact, actually, I will after our break about streaming services. We're gonna be on here in about 35 seconds. And I'll get that ready because we got to see this guy. Because I was just like, dude, out of everyone, first off, great stunt. You're going to get some clicks, but you should have somebody else do it. You should not be drinking that. Like, it's so bad.
But, nobody else probably would do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's just, I don't know. That's insane. I mean, America, I think that's probably the next coming crisis. If they're talking about having drugs for cancer and stuff, it's like, we're just going to be diabetes land.
Yeah, this is it right here. 2 years ago it was released. I got it. Yeah, you wait till you see it, but we'll have that on here in just a second. Rock 102.1 KFMA. How do you love by Shinedown? Welcome back to the show. Hanging out with Todd Marley on the stream. Of course, we got film critic Herb Stratford in studio talking about what is being released to our streaming services this week, so we don't even have to leave the couch. What's the first one that you're actually buzzing about?
Well, it's interesting. Fatal Attraction for me is something I was really kind of like at first. I'm like, really? Because I was thinking, American Gigolo was such a waste of time.
Right.
They do. And so I was like, all right, well, Fatal Attraction. And then I looked at the cast and I'm like, Joshua Jackson, who was great in Fringe, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and other things, but I mean, that's where I sort of liked watching him. And then Lizzie Kaplan, who I've always sort of had a crush on because she's funny.
Right.
And let's face it, she's damn sexy.
Yes,
right?
she is.
And so the combination of those two, I'm like, you know what? I want to give this a shot. So the first 3 episodes dropped. They're on Prime. You can check it out. Or Paramount Plus, sorry. And it's really good because it's sort of a modern retelling of that story of infidelity where he's this guy, he's a lawyer, he's about to become a judge. He runs into her. She's like a victim advocate. And, he's sort of in this place where he gets primed to misbehave. Right.
Yeah.
And what's interesting about it is before in the first movie, the Adrian Lyne directed movie, it was very obvious that Glenn Close was the villain, right? Like Michael Douglas, he's got this beautiful wife, Ann Archer. They've got this adorable kid. He has an indiscretion. And then she becomes this psycho that stalks him and kills the bunny and all that other stuff, right?
Right.
But this one's a little more ambiguous because it's like, we're a little more in tune with mental health right now, right? And the way this show starts out, like the very first scene, and I'm not spoiling anything here, is Joshua Jackson in like, a prison jumpsuit at a parole hearing for killing Lizzie Kaplan's character.
Oh, spoiler alert, huh?
No,
right
but I mean, that's the
yeah.
very first scene. So all of a sudden you've reset expectations and you're like, okay, this is not that same story. We've got to figure this out. And so then when you watch it with that perspective in mind, it was sort of an interesting creative decision. Then you know how it's ending.
Yes.
At the very beginning. And you're like, oh, I want to see how he gets here because he seems like, he's got remorse and blah, blah, blah. And you just want to see this relationship unfold. And just at the same time, say to yourself, thank God I'm not getting myself into trouble. You know what I mean? It's just a good, and that really it was a cautionary tale, right? You know what I mean? The whole thing was about married men don't screw around, So I'm digging this show. I think it's going to be 10 episodes and definitely worth checking out.
And just one season then, right? So the limited series
I
they're
think
calling
so,
it.
yeah.
I would hope so. And if you're forgetting who Lizzie Kaplan is, you could see her on the podcast broadcast stream. I pulled up a picture of her wearing Herb's underwear. Smoking hot, super beautiful.
Even in my underwear, she's super hot.
Yes, absolutely. Even in the whitey tighties.
Yeah.
So that's that one's dropping on what again?
It's on Paramount Plus.
Paramount Plus, excellent. Paramount Plus coming out with some quality stuff.
I know. I think they're a little bit slow to get there. Just like I think Apple TV now is really sort of hit their stride. They're doing really good stuff, at least in the TV side. I don't know about the movie side. We'll see how stuff goes because, the last thing I watched was sort of, I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So Paramount Plus is doing a good job. But speaking of Apple TV, the other thing that I'm sort of jazzed about is Silo.
Okay.
And there's a science fiction thing. It stars Rebecca Ferguson, who, of course, is in Dune. And if you haven't seen the Dune 2 trailer, got to watch that. It's amazing.
Okay.
Tim Robbins, Will Patton, great cast in this show called Silo. Series, I think the second season just got greenlit. Basically, the whole premise is that there's this underground silo with thousands of people living in it. They have been led to believe that the surface world is completely devastated. And so if you run afoul of sort of management, so to speak, you get banished to the surface. And then the whole community watches you as you exit and die.
Oh,
right. Yeah, so it's a little hardcore. So anyway, there start to be these cracks in sort of the leadership of the silo, and she basically plays this woman who is named Sheriff, and so she's supposed to go around and do their dirty work. She starts to have some questions, and anyway, it's a good series. I really like it. It's 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, so a lot of people like it. So yeah,
it's not just me.
Yeah, that's a big deal. Apple Plus and Silo, and how many episodes? That's another 10 episode. Okay,
10 right now. So there's a lot to and they definitely end the last thing on sort of a cliffhanger, and so it's exciting. There's going to be a second season, so that's worth checking out as well. Rebecca Ferguson is great. She's really good.
I do miss the days of seasons that would last 20 episodes. The 10 episode thing started in the quote unquote golden age of television, like the Breaking Bad era kind of stuff, and then they just have one back. And the Sopranos, because they're like, oh yeah, we can give them that much and call it a season.
But, and like Game of Thrones, they're like, well, here's 8. You're like, 8,
right?
What are you talking about? Well, each one costs $1 million or whatever.
Dragons are expensive.
Like, wait a minute.
That's the problem. They're telling us they're giving us an album they're really just giving us an EP.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. And in some, just an extended B-side. Go after yourself, man.
Yeah, just a dance mix. Yep.
All right, we're keeping the conversation moving with Herb Stratford. We're going to reveal what to avoid on the streaming services. When we return, also, we're going to be hanging out with Herb, and you're listening for Incubus, because when you hear Incubus being played, you can be caller number 10 to win tickets to see them live at the TCC on August 23rd. So you're listening for Incubus to be played, to call 600 KFMA to be caller number 10. That's coming up soon, so stick around. Good luck. Clear. All right. And I just heard back from Powers. Powers did not give me a heads up that he's not coming in at all today because he has a meeting for a party at the Monica, but he'll be at Tappy Hour tonight. So I'll see Powers tonight at Tappy Hour. And that's good. And I pulled up a video clip. That was the song that you heard of Rebecca Ferguson.
So she was just in the video. It wasn't her, right?
No, that wasn't her. They put music on the background, but it's a montage.
Okay, so
look, I'll show you. It's a montage of her being hot, like hot, dancing hot.
Yeah.
Nice.
She is. She's a very striking beauty. You know what I mean? Like she has very sort of severe, cheekbones, and so definitely
severe cheekbones. Almost make it sound like dysmorphia or something.
Well, that's the name of my new band, Severe Cheekbones. So.
Yeah, that's an awesome band. All right, somebody's calling. Rock on 2.1. Who's this?
Carmine again.
What's up, Carmine?
How are you, sir?
Good. What's going on?
Caller number 10, I hope.
No, man. I said when I play Incubus, when you hear Incubus being played.
I know. I shut off the car. I was running to the store. So let me wait and pick up the call. Hopefully I'll win.
Yeah. And you didn't. You lost the other day, right? You're still trying to get those tickets up.
I did. I lost.
Yeah. But you lost with grace, Carmine. So listen to.
Lost with grace. I'm a graceful guy.
Yeah.
You're making this. You're making.
All right. I'll try again later.
All right. No problem. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, thank you, sir. Have a good day.
Bye. You too. Carmine's a nice guy. All right, so I want to show this, and Captain Bicycle said, wow, somebody salty at the traffic guy has a personality. So, Valdez is not allowed to say I'm Valdez anymore, and I am.
What? No, I didn't.
What? Yeah.
Why?
Well, they say it's a corporate thing, but I really think it's somebody in the building with a little bit of pull that has an issue with it and got him to, got management to make him stop. Right. I think the corporate reasoning is bullshit. And I'm actually going to argue and try to fight for him to be able to say I'm Valdez, which initially I didn't like, by the way, but he got himself over just on KFMA. But when he records the traffic, it actually goes to all stations, all 4.
Oh,
yeah. And so when he says I'm Valdez, he's actually getting over actually to more people collectively in Tucson. So he's actually made himself a big deal because of it, but they shut him down. So I want to argue and be like, can he just make a traffic report for KFMA exclusively, or I'm just going to get a sound drop of him saying I'm Valdez, and I'm just going to drop it at the end of every traffic report. Right? I actually had Jake call in because I had Valdez come in just to say I'm Valdez. And this is what Jake had to say about it.
He ain't going for Valdez. That was like sweet serotonin to hear him say it again. Thank God. You need to bring him onto the show more, Beef, so he can just say it and get it out of his system. And that way all of us consumers can just take a deep breath, because it's a sweet serotonin.
And, you know, Jake is not alone in that. It's kind of funny and odd, but I've been getting comments on Twitter. I've been getting listeners who just, well, as soon as Valdez pops in, they immediately say, I'm Valdez. He got himself over. And that's a wrestling term, meaning they get the fan going just from saying, I'm Valdez. And I'm like, motherfucker, I've been working my ass off to get people what I'm doing. I should have just said, I'm beef vegan.
Well, maybe that would have been it. I don't know. But, you know, it sort of fits with him, too. You know what I mean? Like, it is a very appropriate sort of, I don't want to say catchphrase, but I mean, it really does sort of, it's on brand.
It is a catchphrase, though.
But don't even like all the traffic gets to identify themselves. They get to say, I'm whatever their name is at the end of it.
They say it normally, though. They say it like a normal person would. And that's the issue. Valdez does not.
He just has to tone it down 3 notches. That's
now he's not even saying his name. You know, he just, you know, at first he was saying I'm Valdez, and then he just like Valdez, and then nothing. He just raps it. That's it.
Comically large.
Look at this guy.
Oh, this is it.
This is the guy that they showed.
Surprised there's only 9. 9 seems like a low number.
You're watching back to Badlands Chugs, and right now I got an epic chug I'm about to do right here. These are all the Mountain Dews that I can find, okay? And I'm about to chug them all in this one big glass. So
I gotta mute it just in case I get a copyright strike on this, because this video, let's see how many views it has. And I'm sure it's only growing. 20 million views.
Oh my God.
Right. This guy made money off this. Look at all the different Mountain Dews. The Code Red. This is the shark icing. I don't know. This is the Japanese one, the violet.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. It comes in a can, just a tall can, of course. And then Baja, which is exclusive at Taco Bell.
Oh.
Yeah. Did you know that? You
I
can't.
did not.
Yeah, you can't get
Look
your
at that.
Baja, or maybe you can now. But this is because this is 2 years ago. And then whatever this was, I do
extra. Huh? Can I? Let me see.
I'm filming, man. Big ups to OK Hip Hop. He's filming the camera, all right? Go visit him on his.
He's filming the camera.
He made the beat that you hear today, all right?
Listen, if your deal is chugging a gallon of
Let's
Mountain
go.
Dew, sentences clearly have already failed you.
This is the first one. This is the Maui Burst. 290 calories, right?
So he puts the full container in this.
Yes. And then he does the live wire, 290 calories.
Oh my God.
Yes. And then Spark. I didn't even know that all these Mountain Dews exist. And
Me
I was
neither.
actually like, I do want to kind of try them all now.
You know, I remember when there was one Mountain Dew.
Yeah, you do.
Right.
Uh-huh.
I'm so old.
Before carbonation existed.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. It was, you mixed it up.
Yeah. Code Red, you know,
Sure.
That was just what charity gardening, or no, that's pepper. But you could have made Code Red. You
There's
could
the
still
original.
make Code Red. Yeah, the original. Who cares about the original at this point? And look at it just turning toxic. And this, like,
Yeah, there's like little skull and crossbones floating around in there.
Frostbite, which is actually less calories, 240 calories. So
But
if
that
you're on
looks-
a diet,
but you know, that looks like something you put in your radiator. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
it
You
is.
know?
Yeah, and then this is what's going to turn it into like wine.
Just
Oh.
alchemy.
Yeah, and then save the bees. Of course, the bees are coming out. I'm sure. I'm surprised you get swarmed. You can't do this in Arizona. You get swarmed by killer bees here because bees love Mountain Dew or any kind of soda. So there's the
my
voltage, which a little clearer, but that gets even darker.
I mean, he's not putting in Diet Mountain Dew. That's another variety. The cane
That's
sugar
true.
one's not in there.
Yeah.
That's true.
He didn't go hard.
Violet's only 150 calories as well.
Well,
so.
how many fat Japanese people do you see except sumo wrestlers?
That's very true. He wanted to try that. Oh, he loves the violet. He loves it. I mean, I don't know. Something about this guy makes me trust sugary products. Be like, is it good enough?
Well, he's still alive.
No, we don't know.
Yeah,
we
don't
know.
Yeah. We don't know. Yeah.
Baja, then he doesn't even know what the calorie count is for Baja. All right. So this is what it turned out to be.
Oh,
right.
Got it.
Everything 2,500 calories.
Oh my God.
And then his goal is to chug it. And they actually chug it in real time. And Beavis and Butthead make a joke about this. Be like, it's still going, huh? You know? And then finally gets to the end. And
honestly, only in America can this thing happen.
20 million views. I'm sure he's monetized. He got a thing and a channel. And before he died, he, which again, just assuming.
I hope Mountain Dew sent him his estate some flowers or something.
Right. I hope he didn't pay for these Mountain Dews.
Yeah. Medical insurance,
whole thing, and it's insane. Like, what are you doing, man? But then I will play the audio of him after he chugs it because you could tell that amount of sugar. That's essentially like doing a hot rail. Was what tweakers called like slamming meth or doing some kind of like snort hot thing.
Look at that. His body's rejecting it. His body don't want to know no more. No more.
Yeah. I'm done. Uncle.
So let's hear. Here he goes. And this 26 left. Yeah!
Woo! That's what I'm talking about. That's Chuck, folks. Till next time, keep watching Badlands Chugs. I'm out. Peace. Chugging the.
That's it. That's all I can do. Peace. I'm dead. Let's see what his last what he has.
Has there been an update since then? Is he alive?
Yeah. No, 2 days ago. Shit. He chugged every Prime hydration drink. That's an energy drink. The dude is begging for it, dude. He's just like
his heart's gonna explode, man. It's just that cannot be good for
you know what? Go out doing what you love.
You know what, Todd? There's something to that.
And this is his living, right? This is how he makes money, and he is making money for sure. Because look at this, dude. I mean, 8 million or 90 Mountain Dew Summer Freeze, Thor's Hammer. He chugs that, and then these are the popular videos: 22 million, 20 million, 14 million, 10 million, 8.9.
It's train wreck television.
Yeah.
This
is YouTube. 3.36 million subscribers with the same amount of videos that we put out. Actually, coincidentally enough, 727. But
wow,
we're all about quantity, not quality. So
that is nuts.
Actually, that's also his motto as well, was quantity, not quality.
Yeah, right. Yeah, just in life. Go chug Redline. That's a heart stopper right off the bat. I had to stop drinking Redline. Do you remember when I used to drink Redline?
Redlines every morning, going through the Quick Trip to get a spicy roll and a Rooster Booster and a Redline.
So what's Redline?
Redline essentially is almost like, I would say, bull adrenaline in all the worst ways. It's just straight poison, but you drink it, then your skin kind of like gets tingly and you get flushed and you're awake, but really like nitrous-y, or if you give yourself a heart attack. They're putting warning labels on it now. It's super dangerous shit, but they still sell it at gas stations. Wow. So it's like Red Bull on crack.
But so is it to keep like drivers awake? I mean,
it's just an energy drink.
All right.
And they Redline, you just like main vein it and shit. And I would go in the morning for years, and who knows what damage I've done. For a few years, I would get like a tall can energy drink and a Redline just to like maintain. And I would feel like I can't breathe.
I would drink half of one when he'd bring one in for me and put it down, being like, "You're a little tired. Here, put it down in front of me." I'd drink half of that thing, and I would shake for hours.
Yeah, wow. Dude. Yeah, it's insane. It is insane.
That's messed up, man.
I know, man. That is messed up.
That's messed up.
Yeah, but that's a throwback. That's a throwback to a Todd reference. All right, so we are gonna end the podcast at 9:00, but because I got some stuff I got to do with recording and stuff, and I'll do some like little radio thing and get ready for the Tappy Hour, which is gonna be tonight, which I'm excited about. But I thank you guys for jumping on early with me, and I hope to see you all from 4 to 6. Let's celebrate I'll drink some beers with you and stuff, and it'll make me feel good. I'm actually looking forward to it. The timing of this is good, so that's good. And then I'll get back to responsibilities
next week.
Yeah, next
week. Kick it down the road, man.
The responsibility is doing a lot of heavy lifting there.
Well, it's a responsible, just trying to find a house. Like,
life. Yeah.
See, the question is, when I'm trying to get a house, is the deposit factor. There's some places that are like $300 deposit. I'm like, cool. There's some place, I'm looking at a place right now that would have to be full deposit plus full month rent. So you're talking like you got to put up $2,500 to $3,000 up front.
Yeah.
And, I just went to Mexico by myself and wasted a lot of money. Yeah.
You're like, can you take plasma?
Right, yeah. Just gonna start doing that. So I don't know. It's kind of a grind, but I'll figure it out here soon. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA. We're live on the air. Of course, you just hear me bitch live on the air. Hanging out with Herb Stratford and Tom Marley. We're going to wrap up the podcast broadcast, but the show is going to continue to 10 a.m. And don't forget, the Catalina Brewing tonight. It's off of Ina. We're going to be hooking you up with drink specials. We're going to be tasting flights, doing a live happy hour podcast, which you can see on youtube.com/beefvegan and the KFMA Facebook page while we're there tasting all the different delicious brews, including a brew that they're known for. Their signature brew is a prickly pear ale, like cream ale.
Oh, it's good stuff, actually.
Oh, yeah. Have you had that before? It's the prickly pear cream ale
really
that they're famous for. And then on top of that, of course, got the NBA and NHL games, but they're going to have Jello shots, also micheladas, and all things fun for games and festivities to kick off Cinco de Mayo. So if you're going out and partying tonight, which I hope you are, make sure that you start at Catalina Brewing for Tappy Hour and make your way around there.
But also
drink responsibly.
Be responsible. Yeah. Use the Uber, man.
I knew Uncle Herb was going to come in and be like, you guys. Yeah. I'm like, well, I know Herb. I've been having a couple tough couple weeks and stuff. I just want to rage, but I will Uber around or something.
All right.
Yeah. Be responsible-ish.
Hey, you know what? You have a responsibility to us to be back on Monday.
Yeah, now you gotta be paranoid. Knock on wood and everything else. So, I am a super responsible person.
Yes, you are.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. All right. Well, we look forward to your full review on Guardians of the Galaxy when you watch it this weekend. I know I'm going to be watching it on Saturday. I'll bring a box of tissues too. Is it bad to watch a sad movie when you're sad?
I don't think
no.
It's
Am I going to be intervened at Roadhouse? Are you going to have like, sir, do you need a hug? It's Rocket. And no one loves Peter Quill. Oh, Gamora left him. Right?
Good to you, man. You. There's a crying section.
You want to go see it with me?
Maybe.
He's the one watching cry. Yeah. Well, all right. Let's wrap up the podcast broadcast. Herb Stratford's the arts and culture guy. You can check out his YouTube page as well. He has interviews with tons of great celebrities that are in projects and stuff, including most recently the two that we just played last week.
Josh Segarra and Chris O'Dowd.
Yeah, and that's Arts and Culture Guy on YouTube. All right, we're going to see you guys at Tappy Hour tonight at Catalina Brewing. Don't worry, though. The show on the FM side will continue, and you're still listening for Incubus to get those tickets. And I also have tickets to give away for Party of the Planet, which I'll do right now. So if you want to go to the Sonoran Desert Museum on May 13th for their Party of the Planet event, it's a good time. And that's where you could drink and see all the exhibits, and they have food there as well. And I have a pair of tickets to give away to caller number 10 at 600 KFMA 600-5362. You just got to be 21 years of age or older, and then you can go check out the Party of the Planet May 13th at the Sonoran Desert Museum. Call now. Good luck. All right, guys, we're going to wrap up the podcast, and I'm going to give away these tickets. We'll see you tonight at Catalina Brewing. Thank you, Herb.
Thank you.
And thank you, Todd.
Later
I'll see you tonight too. Good luck with your arm.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's weird. It's